Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. I know everyone's really cold, and sorry about the weather, but at least it's not raining. So, thank you. I'm Molly Fogarty. I'm the library director, and it's my pleasure on behalf of the staff of the Springfield City Library to welcome you all here today. Since this library opened in 1912, this library has been a center of learning, opportunity, and community engagement for the city of Springfield. In 1905, Andrew Carnegie donated $260,000 to the city to build the Central Library and 3 branches. So think of $250,000 to do something like that. These were part of 1,700 libraries that Andrew Carnegie built across the nation. We have, and he was not happy with the fact that he had to pay $2 membership fee to use the public library in Pittsburgh. So he advocated really strongly for free public libraries. And in fact, Massachusetts in 1848 was the first state in the United States to have the city of Boston authorized to have a tax levy to make public libraries free. And that continued across the Commonwealth. Of course, the Springfield City Library has been free since 1857. So we have been continuing this legacy. The preliminary construction cost for this library was $250,000, and the residents of Springfield raised $155,000 towards this project. And the library opened, as I said, on January 10th, 1912. In 2012, we had a gala celebrating the 100th birthday of the Central Library, and if a rumor has it that Andrew Carnegie was here himself. If all of you who attended that remember, he was here greeting guests. Andrew Carnegie founded the Andrew Carnegie Corporation in New York, and they have been advocating for public libraries since then. And the current president, Vartan Gregorian, who was the past president of the New York Public Library, was not able to attend our 100th birthday celebration, but sent a letter to the city of Springfield congratulating the mayor and the city for continuing the operation of this library and for maintaining this beautiful library. And here we are after this wonderful project that you will hear a lot more about from Peter Garvey and Myron Hatchett. The details are, it's not just what you see right now, which is very important, but so many other infrastructure things that had to happen to maintain this building. And it's my pleasure to thank Mayor Sarno and the city administration for over $4 million in city funding to renovate this building. We also received, yay. This is also funded, always more. We also received funding from the Mass Cultural Council Facilities Grant and from the Springfield Museums. So we have a lot of speakers, and I want to, my pleasure to introduce Helen Carlton Harris, who will MC this program. She's the best.
Thank you. Good afternoon or good morning. We are so blessed to be here right now in this space and this time. And this was made possible by many individuals who came together and created what is going to be a space for generations to come. We are so proud of this initiative. We're proud of the city of Springfield, but I am proud of some residents that are here with us who have been advocating for a number of years for the restoration of this ramp. I'd like you to put your hands together for Goldie Clark, who is a special guest and has been a very strong advocate. I want to thank you for your advocacy on behalf of the libraries, on behalf of the city of Springfield, because it is you who kept this out front for a number of years. So thank you, Ms. Goldie. And as I just said, this would not be possible without the support of a city administration that is absolutely amazing. I have worked, as you know, for mayors, and I've had the opportunity to have relationships with many city officials who care deeply about the city of Springfield. Mayor Dominic Sarno is one that I am very proud to say is born, bred, and he really sleeps and eats this city in terms of just wanting the best for every resident in the city. We just left a meeting of advocates for the cold weather policy for homelessness, and he was so passionate about his support and caring for every resident of this city, including those who are down on their luck. This mayor made this initiative a priority. Please welcome Mayor Dominic J. Sarno.
Thanks, Helen, very much. To the elegant and eloquent Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Helen Carlton Harris, thank you very, very much. And to Molly and Kay from the museums. And I also, to Miss Clark, from the old neighborhood. I'm still in the old neighborhood, the Forest Park area, Dickinson Street, Homestead. It's great to see you again, and your son, too, who my father cut his hair for many, many years on it, and your advocacy for the ramp here. And I also want to, one of the all-time greats when it comes to, continues on philanthropic efforts, Lyman Wood. I want to give Lyman a big round of applause. Puts his money where his mouth is. The beautiful Lyman and Mary Wood Museum of Springfield History has been tremendous. And to my library commissioners, I know Chairman, my old halfback, Steve Carey's here, and Commissioner Moriarty is here. And we have representing our Congressman and our friend Richie Neal, my old intern, Kareem Kabodia, is also here. Kareem, thank you for being here. And I know Joel McAuliffe, who's a counselor in Chicopee, but it's Eric Lesser, Senator Lesser, and Jennifer Hayes from Senator Welch's office is here, which we appreciate it. And you're going to hear about the nuts and bolts from my guys, Bob the Builders, Pete Garvey and Myron Hatchett, who are going to be speaking about what we're able to do here today. We're very lucky to have a Andrew Carnegie type complex here in the city of Springfield. And we are the envy not only of New England, but up and down the East Coast for being a city that's been able to not only keep their majestic central branch library going, but also to keep neighborhood libraries going. This $4 million was unexpected bond proceeds that were left over, and I wanted to continue to enhance our municipal buildings, their physical plan, because that enhancement not only gives more accessibility to the beautiful mosaic of our people in the city of Springfield, but it also is welcoming, too. So this ramp was a long time in coming. We've been able to do this with efficient, effective, strategic financial planning, but compassionate planning to make sure that we're able to highlight the Central Library and all our libraries here in the city of Springfield. I know many a times people will say, geez, libraries are obsolete. You know, you get the people that'll say that. Libraries play a vital cog in our city of Springfield, as do museums. And they've diversified what are offered in our libraries. But I know many people with this day and age of the internet, and you know, that's great, but I'm sort of old school, back to the future. It was a book that you opened up that maybe I've never been able to get to the Great Wall of China, but when I opened up that book, I was there at the Great Wall of China. And that was all because of books. And I tell our young kids in our school system all the time, I tell them what it is to be cool, and that's being smart. And how do you get smart? By being able to read and being able to understand. And that's what our libraries do, day in and day out, and they help out with workforce development, they help out with community meetings. Very shortly, near the end of this month, we'll be cutting the ribbon. It's been talked about for 40, 50 years, but I'm proud that my administration, our administration, has been able to get it done. East Forest Park, we'll get a beautiful branch there. But this is the crown jewel here. This is the crown jewel of the Andrew Carnegie complex of libraries and museums. And again, we're very lucky. Smithsonian, we're accredited by the Smithsonian here for our museums, so the libraries. So we have to make sure that we continue to keep the upkeep and the $4 million was very, very well spent. We appreciate the cultural mission giving us some money also, but physical plan of these historic buildings are very, very important. So to everyone involved, thank you for your continued belief and investment in our library system, museum system, and more importantly, the human spirit of the city of Springfield. So read, 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 and Mrs. Clark, you can pop all the wheelies you want, okay? God bless you all. Thank you.
Libraries are the great equalizer as far as education is concerned. Having libraries in every neighborhood in the city gives every child, adult, the opportunity to be able to access educational tools. Many of our students still don't have computers in their homes, and we know that our libraries are a great resource. I want to thank a wonderful staff. I think we need to acknowledge Lee Fogarty and her staff and all that they do to support the library system. I see Matt here, Matt Blumenthal, sorry Matt, who, as you know, has been a consultant with us and has done a wonderful job. But I acknowledge Molly because of the work that she and her team did in writing that grant that got us $4.9 million in order to do East Forest Park. So thank you, thank you, thank you. One of my favorite people in city government is Peter Garvey. He doesn't know that, so he's finding out today that he's one of my, yeah, last week I complimented TJ, now it's Peter, so I'm really looking for big things. But Peter Garvey is certainly one of those individuals who is caring, compassionate, and really does a wonderful job as far as capital construction is concerned in the city of Springfield. Please welcome the Director of Capital Assets and Construction, Peter Garvey.
Well, thank you for that introduction.
You're quite welcome.
So in any building project, and you all have been involved in some level of a building project, you need money, a designer, and then someone to do it. So we were fortunate enough that Mayor Sarno and his administration was able to dig up $4 million for this project. And we were fortunate enough to have a local architect in Kalon Beanick design the project. With the design team, there was a lot of input from Molly and Helen and the folks that work here. And then Cronenberg was actually the ones that implemented the work that was planned. So it was a long project. It was probably a little bit longer than it planned to be, but we ran into some unforeseen conditions in the front steps, and obviously some of this stuff is not cookie cutter off the shelf. Myron Hatchett, which was the project manager, will go through some of the things we did here, but everything was custom made, had to fit into a classic building. I mean, you couldn't, if you asked to build this today, it would never ever get built. There's not enough money in the world to build this stuff. So I just want to thank the mayor and everybody involved in the project, and on to the next one. We have Pinchin Plaza, which will bring everything in. We got the museum, working with the museum on Pinchin Plaza. So I want to thank the museum because we were kind of pigs when we came here and just took everything over and for 2 summers and made a mess and cleaned it all up and left. But thank you, everyone.
I also want to acknowledge the library commissioners who are here. And so if I could ask you to stand if you're here live. I absolutely see Steve, Commissioner Moriarty. Well, thank you for what you do on behalf of the city of Springfield as far as the libraries are concerned in your leadership. Another one of my favorite individuals, and I actually grew up with him. I am much younger than him. However, I will acknowledge that we have been friends for a very long time. Our families knew each other. And so he is an amazing man and does a great job. We worked with him on the Ray Jordan Senior Center, and he did a fabulous job there. And once again, he's done a fantastic job here. Please welcome Myron Hatchett.
Thank you, Helen. To do a job like this, it's definitely a team effort. And we were fortunate to have a great architect in Kalo and Beanick and a wonderful contractor, Cronenberger and Sons, with the museum staff, Roger, and the library, Molly and her staff. It all came together to put together a difficult project. I mean, this was a safety project. The ramp had been condemned for a number of years. You may remember there was netting up around the corners. The terracotta was literally falling off the building. So this project was to restore all of that, rebuild a new ramp, replace all the corners work. There's a new roof on the building. The drains have been replaced, so there's no more leaks inside Molly's building. So there was a lot of work that went into it. As Peter mentioned, we ran into some difficulties. We replaced the front stairs, those marble stairs, tons of material, Jim. We took it all apart piece by piece, put a new foundation in and put it all back together because the front stairs were literally moving and wobbling. So again, this was a safety effort. It was a restoration effort, and hopefully we'll all enjoy the new construction that we have. Thanks for coming today.
Mayor Sarno has given me many opportunities under his leadership and his administration. And one of the opportunities he has given me is to sit on the board of the museums. And so I've had to sit, listen, and be educated by a group of individuals around the table who are so committed to this city of Springfield, and their resources really speak to that. Individuals like Lyman Wood. I've known Lyman since I was 2. And I was about 2 when I met you, right, Lyman? Because you were much older than me, too. So I am on the museum board, and we have a leader there, Kay Simpson. Kay does an amazing job as far as the museums are concerned. She communicates effectively. She leads all of us on a path that has us better in terms of our education about the museums. So, Kay, I want to thank you for your work and ask you if you would give your remarks.
Well, thank you very much, Helen. That was a wonderful introduction. And of course, I'm very excited to be here for the grand ribbon cutting ceremony on behalf of the museums. This is, as other speakers have noted, a great architectural treasure in the city of Springfield. It has a commanding presence on State Street, a beautiful building. As Peter and Myron noted, you could not actually build a structure like this today. So it's something that everyone who lives and works in the city of Springfield can be proud of. So the city really should be commended on the restoration of the Springfield Central Library. This new ramp that you're all looking at is more than a replacement of the failing ramp. It is a beautiful complement to both the quadrangle side of the Central Library building as well as the magnificent facade of the George Walter Vincent Smith Museum. So after years of construction, we are very excited to start planning with Molly and her wonderful staff at the Springfield Libraries on all the collaborative programming we can do out on this wonderful plaza. So again, we commend the city and thank the mayor, Peter, Myron, and Molly, everyone who has been involved in this great project, and congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you. We want to make sure on behalf of the libraries that we are thanking those individuals who walked this journey with us. We want to thank State Representatives Angelo Pupolo, Mike Finn, Bud Williams, Carlos Gonzalez, Jose Tusado, and Tom Petrolotti. We also want to thank our state senators, Joe McAuliffe, Joe McAuliffe is here on behalf of Eric Lesser. But we do want to thank Eric Lesser. We also have Jennifer Hayes here on behalf of James Welsh. We want to thank Senator Welsh as well. We also want to make sure we're thanking again Congressman Neal for his steadfast support of this library system. And we also want to thank our chair of the Library Commission, who is going to, now you do an amazing job with In Focus. And I appreciate the fact that you make sure that Springfield residents are tuned in to things that are very important to all of us. So thank you for that. Thank you for chairing the Library Commission. We very much appreciate you, and I welcome you for some remarks. Steve Carey.
Thank you very, very much, Helen. We've thanked a lot of people. There's a long list of people to thank, but I think the guy who charged Mr. Carnegie the $2 right now for that fee, I think that's the guy that we got to keep in mind. I'm cheating because I'm going to quote another cool Springfield thing from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I went to look up access because this is what this is all about, and I was surprised. So we have a noun and a verb. The noun description is the ability or permission to approach, to enter, to speak with, or to use. The verb for access is to be able to use, enter, or to get near. And we're grateful that you asked the library, Ms. Clark, and that you worked hard for all these years speaking up. There are ears that listen, and someone to thank, millions and millions of thanks in terms of dollar bills to Mayor Sarno's administration. I became a library commissioner about a dozen years ago. They were dark days for the library, and we're now well funded. Instead of going to the Mass Board of Library Commission to get waivers, which we used to have to do, we now have them coming for groundbreaking ceremonies to build new libraries. So thank you, Mayor Sarno. And because I'm the cleanup guy, I'm going to be quick and thank all of you. But listening to Peter and to Myron talk, the one group of people are the people I kept walking by that were behind the chain link fences during this long construction period. And I learned early on to stop asking, hey, how's it going? Because at the beginning of the process, they were uncovering, it was sort of like an archaeological dig. They were pulling 100 years worth of marble and granite and wooden structures that had rotted apart and finding things that probably should end up in the museums. But as the work got on and as they started being able to, you saw the results and the fruits of their labor, I want to thank them and for the vision of the architects. And thank you all very much.
Well, thank you. I have a list of folks that need to be thanked. You know, I know many of you know I have one brother, but I have another brother from another mother. His name is Patrick Sullivan. Patrick Sullivan, we want to make sure we're thanking him because he really has been a help to all of us. Also, Scott Pierce, who works with Patrick Sullivan. We want to thank the Springfield City Council for their support as well. And we want to thank the Massachusetts Cultural Council, Anita Walker. We also want to thank the Springfield Preservation Trust, Derek Strahan and Joanne Cardell. We are very pleased about the Springfield Cultural Partnership and Karen Finn. Now, Molly, have I forgotten to thank anyone?
Historic Commission. I know Brian McFarland, the commission's here also too. So Historic Commission.
The Historic Commission and the Historic Commission. And who is here from the Historic Commission?
Commissioner McFarland is here. Brian McFarland, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your work. We are very appreciative of the Springfield Historical Commission. So thank you. And you'll thank the rest of the commissioners. Is there anyone else that we need to thank?
Cy Becker. Thanks, Cy Becker, for being here at TV 22, okay?
We are at the end of our program, our speaking program, but we have the ability to have you tour. We have an individual, it's Ed Lonigan, who is going to do the tours with you. He's a wonderful individual who does amazing tours, I'm told. So please take a tour. Again, Mayor Sarno, what would I do without you? I must tell you, I am so appreciative of all of the support that you give the residents of the city of Springfield and those department heads who work with you. Thank you so much again.
We're going to cut the ribbon. Ready? On three, we're going to cut. And everybody look up. I want you to look up. 1, 2, 3, 3. All right.